Namaste yogis, welcome to your mat. My name is Abigail and I'll be guiding our foundations practice today. And I mentioned a few minutes ago that you may need a chair today. If you have something that would function similarly, maybe even sort of a bench or something, we can get creative with kind of a standard height chair. You'll want to grab that, and no worries if you don't even want to go find that item, or if you don't have anything in your home that will work, we can do without. Blankets, blocks, kind of the usual there, and then for sure a strap. Something like a belt would work to allow our arms to be a little bit longer for us today. So the plan in my classes this week has been to twist. So we're working with the spiral sheath. If you have been practicing with me regularly, you know that I rotate through all of the sheaths. And with today's practice, we'll work on spinal extension, a little bit of spinal flexion, as well as rotation. So using the breath and the core to support our twist today, kind of unwinding the spine. That being said, I do have an offering to sort of match our practice today, but in the meantime, you can go ahead and just lie on your back. And as you come to lie back, just make sure your strap or whatever you're using, your belt, is nearby. And go ahead and just get comfortable. You also may want to grab a yoga block, or maybe you're using a book, a couple stacks of books. Keep that within reach too. And then you'll find a comfortable position on your back that just allows you to land comfortably. And so situate yourself in a way that allows you to come into your practice, come into your space. And this can be bent knees, legs long. You could even side lie if being on your back isn't very comfortable. And once you've arranged yourself, please close your eyes and begin to soften your gaze, soften your jaw, your throat. And let's start with the physical structure of the body as you begin to soften. Let the bones and the muscles be really heavy towards the mat, towards the earth. And just allow yourself to really relax here. And as you continue to let the physical structure be soft in your initial shape here, whether you're on your back or on your side, maybe you're on your belly, please begin to shift your awareness to your breath. And begin to listen to the flow of breath in and out. Not judging it or changing it, just noticing the breath for what it is. And continue to keep your awareness there as I provide us with an offering for our practice today. So this is from Living the Sutras. And today's practice, if you feel called to do so, putting it towards viveka, which translates as discernment. The way to connect with our true self and not get caught up by the whims, the desires, and fears of our everyday self is through discernment, or viveka. At its simplest, discernment is practicing good judgment. It's observing ourselves and the world around us so we can make clear, good, and healthy decisions. It helps us recognize and choose actions that serve our true inner self, rather than give in to immediate pleasures. Yoga is both the goal and the means. Through discernment, we understand the difference between our objective and subjective realities, and the mind becomes clear. The goal of yoga. So this is not to say that we practice yoga so we can create blank space in our mind. It's really nearly impossible to make the mind do nothing. So instead, I encourage you to allow this offering to start your initial discernment work by listening. And that's really the first step. And by practicing here, you can listen to your body as we move through postures. Listen to your breath, listen to your heart. And notice and be aware of any thoughts or reactions to the practice. And then ideally we do all of this work of discernment here on our mat so that it can translate off our mats. And so take a few more moments to let that offering land, and if there is something that maybe feels like it would fit with your current day needs a little bit better, you can set a different intention for yourself. Let's take 30 more rounds of breath on our backs or on our sides, wherever your first posture is. Soften into your breath. And then when you are ready, we'll just take a little bit of movement. Begin by shifting yourself onto your back if you're not there already. And bringing a little movement to the head. You could rock a little side to side. Bring a little movement into your fingers, into your toes. And eventually, bending the knees, please. Feet on the floor. And then grab your strap. And we'll take our first shape, one of my all-time faves, Utthita Parsvakonasana 1. I'm going to take a couple variations with this today. So put the strap over the ball mount of your right foot, and you hold on your strap or your belt in a way that allows you to have straight arms. So listen to the back of your right leg. Maybe you're further away, and that's okay. Listen in to the back of the right thigh, right calf, right back of heel. No force. We want to feel something, of course, but we don't want to feel pain. So find a place where you can straighten the arms, hold the strap, and start to firm your right leg. So zip your right kneecap to your thigh to firm the right thigh quad. And see if you could spread your right toes, like you could see some ceiling space between each of your 5 toes. Keep your left foot on the floor, but start to open your left knee to the left. You'll come to the outer blade of your left foot to drop the left outer knee towards the floor. So it's a Utthita Parsvakonasana, one leg on the right, and then a half Parsvakonasana on the left. So reach up with your right heel, reach left and down with your left outer knee. Soften your jaw, your collarbones. And find your breath. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Bottom of your second exhale, please hold your belt or your strap in just your right hand. Keep your left outer knee in that Ardha Parsvakonasana shape. Begin to press your right heel more up and then over to the right as we open for Utthita Parsvakonasana 2. So now my right heel and my left knee are trying to reach away from one another. Maybe you need to hold further away on the strap. That's okay. We want to keep the back of the pelvis heavy and grounded. Light up all 10 of your toes, spread them wide, and then see if you can pull your navel gently down towards the mat, towards the earth. Listen in for sensation, listen to your breath. 2 more rounds here. Bottom of your second breath, you'll bring the right leg back up. Your left knee will also come back up, left foot on the floor. And then the final piece is to walk your left foot to the left side of your mat. Come to the inner edge of your left foot. And then hold the strap in just your right hand, your left hand. And bring your right hand into this hip crease that's flexed here. So I like to kind of dig my right thumb in there and then roll the right outer hip manually away from you. This will lengthen your right side waist as well. And then super slow, drop the right leg to the left and the left knee in. like you're gonna scissor your inner thighs together. Doesn't take much in my body to feel something along the outer right line of my leg, so be mindful, be cautious. Light up all 10 of your toes. Wrap the outer right hip away from you. You can use your right hand to help do that. And maybe 2 more breaths here. Left knee drops in, right knee drops over to the left. Right foot, rather. When you feel complete from that Supta P3 variation, you can come back to center. Release your right foot. Pause, take a breath. And then we'll do the same work on the second side. So keep your right knee bent, your right foot on the floor, and take your left foot into the strap or the belt for Supta Parsvakonasana 1. So lengthen up through the left heel and light up your 5 left toes. Find a hold on your strap with your hands that allows your arms to be straight. You'll make that decision by listening to the back of your left thigh. A little bit of sensation is ideal, but we don't want pain, so go further away with the strap, the foot, if you need to. Firm your left leg as best you can. Always an option to keep a little bend in the left knee too. Firm that left thigh if you have a straight leg. Keep this left leg really strong and come to the outer blade of your right foot this time as you drop your right knee open to the right. Open through the inner right thigh, back of left thigh. Reach your left heel up and your right knee to the right. Light up all 10 of your toes. 2 more breaths. Bottom of your second breath, hold your prop, your strap in your left hand. Keep your right leg in the Parsvakonasana and start to open your left leg to the left any amount. So you only go as far as you can. Stretch through the inner left heel and reach the left heel to the left and the right knee to the right. Keep those toes active. And we're going for a balanced back of pelvis. So notice if one side feels heavier than the other. See if you can keep them equally weighted and then pull your belly down towards your mat, towards the earth. 2 more breaths. Bottom of your second exhale, you'll come through center. We've got one last piece. Bring your right knee to point up, right foot on the floor, but walk your right foot to the right side of your mat and come to the inner edge, the big toe edge side of your right foot. This will ask the right hip to internally rotate a little bit. And then hold your strap with your right hand, bring that left thumb to the left hip crease, and take a moment before you cross the midline to roll the left outer hip away, lengthen that left side waist. And then any amount you start to cross the left leg to the right, and the right knee drops in towards the midline. So there's this scissor, this hug of the inner thighs. Light up all 10 of your toes. Breathe deeply, breathe easy. Maybe go a little further if you've got a little more room to grow. If you've reached your edge, stay and breathe. Last 2 breaths. Bottom of your second exhale, you can release. Nice job. Release your strap. You can set it to the side and feet to the floor. Pause. From here, please grab a yoga block or something, even a book would work to squeeze between your inner thighs. So I'm going to go the skinny way between my inner thighs here. Anything will work to hug together. If you don't have anything close by, you can just hug your knees, your inner thighs towards one another. Just have to work a little bit harder. without an item there to remind you. And then lift your feet, your shins off the earth so that your knees are over your hips. And then for today's practice, I want you to just soften your feet, let them hang, and then bring your arms up towards the ceiling, but also soften your hands. So we're essentially just trying to isolate the low core, the low belly, which is crucial in our twisting practice. So hug your inner thighs together around a block or another prop of some kind. And just hover here for a moment. Pull your low belly down. So the low back is going to want to lift. See if you could squeeze the low part of your belly down into the mat. Keep your hands and your feet soft, and then go another inch or 2 feet away from you and hold. Notice low back. See if you could press low belly down. And keep your jaw as soft as your hands and your feet. Hug your block. Stay here if this is enough. Or maybe you extend your feet a little bit further away from you for a 3rd notch. Re-engage low belly, pull it down. Hug inner thighs around prop or towards one another. Last big breath, pull the low belly down. Really nice job, everybody. You can release for a moment. You know me, we do 2 sets. So pause in a comfortable position, take a deep breath. Second set, put your prop back between your inner thighs or hug your inner thighs together without a prop. Shins lift, we start with knees over the hips. Maybe this is where you stay the entire time. Arms straight up to the ceiling, soften your hands, soften your feet. And then bring your attention to the low belly. So belly button and then slightly below that. Pull the belly, down. And squeeze your block. Hug inner thighs together. Maybe you stay, maybe you challenge yourself a little bit, extend the legs away from you. Pull that low belly down. Soften the hands, the jaw, the face. Stay here if it's enough, or maybe you go one more notch. Pull the low belly down. Squeeze your block, hug inner thighs together. Last big breath. Bottom of your exhale, you can release. And take a moment to pause in a position that's comfortable for you. Big round of breath. Maybe you want to hug your knees to your chest. And then whenever you feel ready, we'll transition. You can rock and roll on your spine if you'd like, or you can just press yourself up to a seated position. So please sit on something, whether that's a block or a blanket, to bring the hips a little bit higher than the knees. And then we'll take Parsvakonasana, so full on bound angle pose on our seat here. So sit up on something and then move any extra booty flesh out of the way so we get a nice tilt of our pelvis forward. And then open your knees wide with the soles of your feet together. Now the more intense this pose will be is if you bring your heels really close to your groin. Option to, of course, not do that. You can have them further away from you. Listen to the inner thighs. And then hold the ankles here and lift up through the crown of your head, lift up through your heart. And then I want you to press your feet together towards one another. Push the soles of the feet together and see if you could widen the knees more. Drop the outer knees towards the earth. Take another big breath here. Press the feet together. Good, and then keep Parsvakonasana in your legs, and inhale, reach your arms up, Utthita in your upper body. Pull your navel slightly back. Get taller through the sides of your waist. Inhale. Exhale, drop your right hand outside your right hip and take a side bend over to the left. I'm gonna bend my right elbow a little bit so I can arc more to the right, and then reach through your left side waist. Spin your belly a little to the left. Continue to press your feet together. One more big breath here. Good, and then inhale through center, reach up with both arms, press the feet together, see if you can widen the knees a little more towards the earth. And then we go other side. Left hand plants outside left hip, side bend to your left. Roll the left chest up towards the right chest as you lengthen right side body. Pull your belly slightly back and then press the feet together. See if you can widen the knees. Flower them open. One more breath here. Good, and then inhale through center, reach up. And exhale, release. Keep your seat, but go wide. Utthita. So you'll make essentially a V with your legs as best you can. Doesn't have to be the biggest degree V of your life, so be mindful. And then come to the front edge of whatever you're sitting on and start to turn on your legs. So toes point straight up, firm kneecaps to thighs, super strong leg bones, fingertips come in front of you. Inhale. As you exhale, start to slowly walk your hands forward by keeping length in the spine though. So spinal extension, no rounding forward. Lengthen your heart in and up. And then maybe you can crawl a little bit more forward. Maybe you are already at your max. Inhale, lengthen, crown of head really tall. Exhale, if you have more depth of pose to find, fold forward. Couple more breaths here. Keep your legs super strong and your toes nice and spread. Almost like you want your sitting bones to reach back and away from the crown of your head. Last two big breaths here. Keep your belly zipped towards your spine. And then bottom of your second breath, you'll crawl hands back up. Take a peek again at those legs. Spread your toes from your thighs. Inhale, arms up by your ears. Exhale, second round of side bend. Right hand out to the right side of mat. Lengthen up and over with your left arm. Spread some breath into your left side waist and gently spin open. Right ribs up, left ribs back. One more breath here. Keep your legs strong. Next inhale, come to center, reach tall. Refirm your legs and then final side. Left hand outside left hip. And then open twist. Left ribs rotate forward. Right ribs rotate back. Put some breath into that right side waist. Turn on your legs. One more full breath here. Good, and then inhale through center, reach up. And as you exhale, you can release your arms, scoop your hands behind your knees and gather the feet together. And then in your own time, in your own transition, we'll make our way to tabletop pose. Not going to be there for too long. You're welcome to pad your knees if you have sensitive knees with a blanket. And then find the shoulders right over your wrists. And for today's practice, I'd like for you to tuck your toes behind you. Get a little more opening for our feet. And then from here, you'll take an inhale breath, couple cat-cows, drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the tail. Exhale, push mat away, chin to chest, round your spine, look at your belly. Inhale, find the back bend, lift the heart, the tail. Exhale, push the mat away, gaze inward, tuck the tail into the body. Couple more times, inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose, really scoop the belly. Let's do two more. Inhale for cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Last round just like this. Inhale for your back bend. Exhale for the scoop of your belly, round in. And then we'll add on just a little bit. So inhale still the same. Drop your belly, lift your tail, lift your gaze. And as you exhale, still do cat pose. Scoop your belly, round your spine, but see if you could pick your right knee up and squeeze it towards your nose. Hold. round the back, scoop the navel, hollow it out and up. And then inhale, lower right knee, drop belly low, lift the heart. Exhale, find cat, push and round. This time left knee scoops in and pause. Hug the left knee towards the nose, scoop your belly. Next inhale, release. Cow pose. Lift your heart, lift your tail. Exhale, second set. Right knee hugs in like you want to touch your nose, scoop your belly, round your spine. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat, left knee hugs in. Scoop that belly, round your spine. One more round, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat with the knee on the right, squeezed in. Scoop navel up. Inhale, cow pose, last one. Exhale, left knee, hug it in, scoop the belly, round the spine. And then from here, take one more cow pose. Might feel good to lengthen the belly. And then as you exhale, you can press back to child's pose. You can untuck your toes, relax your head, your neck. And then from here, you can remove your blanket and grab one of your yoga blocks if you have them, or something similar, and put the block between your inner thighs. Skinny way, upper inner thighs, and then we'll find downward facing dog. So spread your fingers. You can come back to a little bit longer tabletop stance. Make sure those pointer fingers are parallel to one another. And then tuck the toes, lift the knees, lift the hips, downward facing dog. And then feel free to move around a little bit. So if you have really tight shoulders, I recommend, even for me today, it just feels really good to take up space. And you can widen your hands almost as wide as your mat. My fingers are even hanging off, just to create a little more space in the upper back and the shoulders. And hug in on your block or whatever prop you have, and any amount of bend in your knees is a-okay. Shake your head yes and no. Relax through the cervical spine. And then within your next breath or so, let's find a strong and still downward facing dog. So again, head is easy. Push down and forward with your hands. I'd like for you to push through the pads of your fingers, and all 10 of them. Slightly lift the underside of each palm. It's almost like you're suction cupping the mat with your hands. That'll help allow for the wrists to not tire as much. Asking the fingers to do some work too. And then spin your biceps towards the ceiling. Push your hips up and back and squeeze your block. Take another really deep breath here. Good. From here, walk your hands back to your feet. So this is a really good place for another yoga block or a prop to bring the earth a little bit closer to you. Put your hands on something here. Continue to hug the block that you have between your inner thighs, and then any amount fold forward to Uttanasana. Relax your head and your neck. I have a little bend in my knees today. You're welcome to bend them even more so, but hug your block. And then with an inhale, continue to squeeze your block, bring your hands to your shins and lengthen your gaze for Ardha Uttanasana. Hands to shins or to another prop, and then roll the fronts of your shoulders back, like you're squeezing a pencil between your shoulder blades on the back of your body. Hug in on the block or the inner thigh prop that you have, and then lift your navel up. Take another inhale, get longer. Exhale, soften. Uttanasana, relax the head. Let's do another set of that. Ardha Uttanasana, inhale, lengthen. Roll the fronts of your shoulders back. Project your heart forward. Gaze is slightly forward, but still in line with your spine. Inhale, lift navel to spine, get a little longer through the crown of your head. Squeeze your block. Exhale, Uttanasana. Keep your block, and as best you can, crawl back out, downward facing dog. Keep your block squeeze. firm your arms, firm your legs. Make your legs work more, so hug in on your block as you push your hips up and back. And press out through all 10 of your finger bones. Take a nice big breath here. Really nice, everybody. This time you'll make an awkward sort of hobble, your feet to your hands, forward fold at the top of your mat. Relax the head, relax the neck. And then from here you can bend your knees a little bit. You can drop that prop and bring your hands to your hips and come to stand. Good. All right, from here, we'll put that blanket back down on our mats for a little bit of padding in the knees, if you'd like. And then bring one of your blocks, if you have them or something similar, on either side of your space, right and left. You'll turn to face the long edge of your mat and come to kneel. Bring your hands to your hips once you've got that set up for a little bit of Parsvakonasana work, so a little more open twisting as we build from the floor up into eventually some standing postures. So to start, left hip over left knee, right leg steps out to the right. I'm going to make a 90-degree angle with my right leg, my right knee is over my right heel, and then my hands to my hips. From here, bring your right hand into a fist and put it inside of your right inner knee. Turn on your inner right thigh by pressing your right inner thigh into your right fist. Press the fist back into the inner right thigh. Good. And then switch to the outer hip. So fist goes outside right knee, press right knee back. Turn on the outer hip muscles, and at the same time press fist into outer right knee. So we firm the whole circumference of this right thigh, right hip. And then release your fist and inhale, stretch your arms up. As you exhale, side bend over to the right. Now you have the option to place your right forearm on your right thigh and lengthen your left arm over. Or if you'd like to lower to a block, you can lower your right hand to a block to start inside of the right foot. And then roll your right ribs under, your left ribs back, and press your left hip a little bit to the left. Scoop your right bun underneath you so we're not sticking our booties out behind us, and then lengthen on the inhale. Rotate, open twist on the exhale. You may even look under the left arm. One more breath. Good, and then pull up, release. Right knee comes in, and we'll take the other side. Parsvakonasana variation. Right knee is right underneath right hip. Left foot steps to the left with a nice 90-degree angle in the leg. From here, find your left fist with your hand and put it inside left inner thigh. Press the left inner thigh into the fist and the fist into the inner thigh. Turn on those adductor muscles. And then we do the outer hip as well. Fist moves to the outer left knee, press back. Turn on the outer left hip muscles. And at the same time, resist with the fist, press back. Good. From here, inhale, release your fist, arms up. Exhale, side bend over to the left, maybe left forearm on left thigh, or if you want to go just a smidge deeper, you could block inside of your left foot. Begin to rotate your left ribs under and your right ribs back. Continue to hug left inner thigh in around your left arm if you have the block there. If you don't have the block, that's okay. Continue to firm inner thigh, outer hips on the left leg. One more breath. Good, and then inhale, center. Great, we'll take the second version of that with a straight leg, and then we'll come to stand. So left knee, right under left hip. Right leg this time is going to be straight out to the right. Toes pointing up. And take a moment to bend your right knee, just for a moment, and see if you can roll your right thigh to the right. So externally rotate the leg, and then re-straighten the leg. So the knee is going to want to come in and crash into the big toe side of the foot. We want to try to keep it rotating out instead. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, side bend to the right. So primarily working with open twists today. You can put your right hand on your shin, or I like to block outside of my right calf, side bend to the right. Press your left hip to the left, and then rotate your right ribs under, your left ribs back. Maybe you look under your left arm. Without moving your right heel, imagine you could squeeze it back and in towards your left knee. That'll turn on the hamstrings on the right as well. Last breath. Good, and then inhale, center. Final side, we'll switch. Left leg extends straight to the left. Make sure left heel lines up with right knee. And then same thing, bend left knee a little bit, roll left thigh out, and then re-zip left kneecap to thigh, toes stay pointing up. Left leg tries to stay externally rotated if we can. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, side bend over to the left. You can block outside of your left calf or rest your left hand on your shin. Roll your right ribs under and your left ribs under and your right ribs back. Lengthen that right sideways. Press your right hip to the right a little bit, and then without moving your left heel, see if you could squeeze isometrically your left heel towards your right knee. Last breath. Really nice, everybody. Release out of that work. And you can set your blocks to the side, set your blanket to the side, and if you have your chair, please grab that. And we'll face it, chair seat towards you on one edge of your mat, one side of your mat. Now, if you don't have a chair and you have books or blocks, the same work can be done on an item like that. So you'll be able to adjust as you need. Those of us with a chair, we're going to stand about 1.5 feet or so behind the chair, hands to hips for everyone. Inhale, lift up tall. Exhale, fold forward. If you have a chair, your palms will land on the very front seat of the chair. If you don't have a chair and you have another prop, you could also move to a couch. Find your hands on something. Maybe it's the earth if you have really open hamstrings. Place your right hand underneath your nose and bend your right knee. Slice your left hip back and bring your left hand to your hip. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, start to rotate your belly to the left. Push down with your right palm on whatever prop it's on. Keep your left leg strong and rotate your belly to the left. If it feels possible, hook your left elbow back. Maybe stretch your left arm up. Continue to rotate your navel from the right to the left. As you do that, belly pulls back and to the left. One more breath. Good, and then release, and we'll switch. Left palm under the nose, bend left knee. Right hand to hip, slice that right hip back. Right leg stays really strong. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, start a slow rotation from the lowest part of your belly through the crown of your head as you twist to the right. Hook the right elbow behind you. If it feels possible, lift your right arm up. Inhale for length. Exhale, find more rotation. Belly back and to the right. One more breath here. Good, and then rotate back through center. Bend your knees and stand tall. Tadasana. All right, from here, please step your right foot forward. You'll step this right in front of your chair seat, maybe a couple inches behind the chair seat. And then we'll start to fold forward again, hands on the chair, or maybe you have hands on blocks or something else. Either way, you'll probably want something for balance. And then bend your right knee just a little and sweep your left leg behind you for Warrior 3. Right knee is still bent, left leg is not. So push back with your left foot. Firm the back of your left thigh and your left bun. And then see if you can lengthen out your spine. Get longer through the crown of your head. No rounding in your spine. Lift your navel up. And then from this bent right knee position, take an inhale. As you exhale, super slow, straighten your right leg. I'm going to do 4 more of those. Inhale, bend right leg. It's pretty subtle. Exhale, right leg straightens. Left leg is straight the whole time. Inhale, right knee bends. Exhale, straighten, lift right kneecap to thigh. You've got 2 more. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Last one, inhale, deep right knee bend. And exhale, straighten. Firm up both legs, take 1 more full breath. Lengthen the crown of your head forward. And then slowly release, both feet to the earth. You can rise, Tadasana, for a breath. Your glutes will thank me later. Second side. Left foot is the one that steps forward. Bring your hands back to your prop. And then bend your left knee a little bit. Lengthen out your spine like you're doing Ardha Uttanasana, and then sweep your right leg behind you, Warrior 3. Right leg is super strong. Right leg never bends. Push back through the right heel and up. Inhale, deep bend left knee. Exhale, zip left kneecap to thigh, straighten left leg. Inhale, bend. Keep your spine long, don't round. Exhale, straighten. Zip up that left leg. 3 more. Inhale, bend. Go slower than you want to. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, left knee bends. What's your back leg doing? Firm up right thigh. Exhale, straighten. Last one. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Lengthen again your spine. Keep both legs strong for 1 more breath. Bottom of your breath, you can release. Stand tall. Tadasana. Good. From here, take your chair seat. You can actually keep it where it is if you want. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see a little bit better. And for those of us who have a chair, our lives might be a little bit easier for this work. We'll take the horse stance. For those of us who don't have a chair, you're welcome to find another seat in your house for this moment if you can still hear me. And come into the horse stance. So I'm at the front edge of my chair seat, and my knees are as wide as I can with a little sensation in the inner thighs. Toes turned out on the diagonal. Those of us not on a chair seat are essentially hovering in space, so you have to work a little bit harder. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bring your right forearm to your right thigh and side bend over to the right. Lengthen that left side and then roll your right ribs under and your left ribs back. Find that nice open twist. See if you can nudge both knees back. Turn on the outer hips here. 1 more breath. Good, and then inhale through center. Other side. Exhale, left forearm to left thigh, side bend to the left. Roll your left ribs under, your right ribs back. Notice if your right knee wanted to crash in, nudge it back. Turn on the outer hips. 1 more breath. Good, and then inhale through center, reach up, and exhale to release. Good. From here, you can bring your legs together just for a moment, take a nice breath, check in. And those of us who have the chair can continue to use the chair. Those of you who do not, you can use your yoga blocks. So chair goes back to the top of your mat with the chair seat facing you, except for you're going to turn to face the side of your mat, long edge side. From here, you'll bend your knees and step wide. So we do this a lot in my classes where we're on the long edge of our mat. For now, toes all point in the same direction. Widen your arms to check your stance. Nice wide setting across the feet here, like your wrists would touch your outer ankles. And then bring your hands back to your hips once you have that. Turn your right toes to face your chair seat and zip your right kneecap to your thigh. So firm the right leg a lot. Turn your left toes in just a smidge and keep both legs really strong. Arms go wide again. Keep your belly, your torso in the side lateral plane. Inhale. As you exhale, reach towards your chair seat. Maybe you rest your hand on the chair seat, or you rest your right hand on a block. Utthita Trikonasana with the chair. Rotate the right ribs under and the left ribs back. Hug your heels towards one another. Keep your legs really strong. Take another big breath here. Good, and then release your right knee a little bit, come up. And we'll switch for the other side. So I'll just move my chair. You can stay as you are. And keep your wide stance rather, but this time turn your left toes toward your chair seat. Arms wide, torso to the long edge of your mat. Inhale. Right toes turn in a little. Exhale, Utthita on the second side. So your left hand either finds the chair, your left shin, or a yoga block. Right arm up. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, rotate left ribs under, right ribs back. Hug your heels together, firm your legs, and take another breath here. Good, and then release. Slight bend in left knee. Turn all 10 toes to face the long edge of your mat and step your feet together. All right. From here, chair will turn. You can still do this without a chair, but if you have one and you want to try, turn your chair so that it's off to the right of your mat. The chair seat still faces inward, and the back edge of your chair faces outward. All right, from here, those of us who have our chair are going to sit on our chair with the right thigh on and the right heel right underneath the right knee. From here, you'll shoot your left leg back, so we're essentially in a warrior two shape on our chair. Those of you who don't have a chair, take warrior two without the weight of your body on something. We'll join you there in a moment. So line up your right heel with your left arch. Left toes turn in a little bit. And then do the right fist action. So outside of the knee with the right fist, press the knee back. And then do the same with the inner thigh. Press inner thigh into fist, fist into inner thigh. Once you've got that, arms extend, Virabhadrasana 2. Soften the tops of your shoulders, look over your right fingers. Press back through the outer left heel. One more breath here. Nice, good. You can release your hands to your hips, soften your legs. You can sort of pass through center. Chair can essentially stay where it is, but we'll turn to go the other way. So left knee bends. My left thigh is on the chair, about half of it. And we want a nice stack of my left shin bone. From here, make sure your right arch would line up with your left heel and turn those right toes in a little bit. And then turn on the left hip, left thigh. Fist on the inside, press inner thigh into fist. And then fist on the outside, press outer hip back into fist. Firm up the back of your right leg here, and then inhale, warrior two. Soften the tops of your shoulders, pull your navel back and a little to the right. One more big breath here. Good, release. Bring your feet together. You can stand tall for a moment or stay seated on your chair. Great, from here, we'll stand for those of us who are on our chair and repeat that same action. So step wide. Turn right toes out. Turn left toes in. Deep bend in the right knee. Inhale, arms wide, warrior two. Soften the tops of your shoulders. Press your left outer heel back, and then take a look at your right knee. Nudge your right knee to the right, just a little bit. From here, flip your right palm up. Drop your left hand to the back of your left thigh, and then inhale, reach up for reverse warrior. Lengthen the right side of your waist. Go up through the crown of your head, extend your spine. Take another breath as you deeply sink a little more into the right hip. Beautiful, everybody. Release that, warrior two. And then straighten right leg and switch. Turn the left toes out, turn the right toes in. Heel to arch alignment in your feet, and then deep bend in your left knee. Arms sweep wide, warrior two. Press back through the right outer foot. Check the left knee, make sure it tracks over second, third toe. Flip left palm up, inhale, drop right hand to right back thigh, reverse warrior. If it feels okay to look up slightly, you can do that. Lengthen upward through the crown of your head, extend your spine tall. Lift up through the left side of your waist. Keep your left hip nice and flexion there, so deep sink in the left thigh. One more breath. Good, inhale, warrior two. And exhale, all 10 toes face the same way. Step together and pause. All right, so those of us who have a chair are gonna go for this on a chair. Those of us who do not, you'll get 2 sets of doing it essentially standing without something to put your weight on. So, those of us who have a chair will come back to the chair seat and we'll come back to warrior two in the chair. So, or on the chair rather. Right knee bent, right heel lines up with left arch. I'm really kind of on this front edge of my chair seat, so my sitting bones are really heavy. I'm not having to hold myself up, but I am having to press back through my left foot and nudge my right knee a little to the right to keep the outer hip on. Inhale, arms wide, warrior two. Exhale, reach forward this time. Bring your right forearm to your right thigh and your left hand to your hip. Roll your right ribs under, your left ribs back. Stay here if this is enough. If you're going for the full pose, left arm sweeps right over your left ear for Utthita, Parsvakonasana. Big open twist, standing posture. Lengthen that left side waist, roll your chest, the barrel of your chest open to the left. You might even look left. Last breath. When you're ready, you can release. Come out of the side bend first. Pass through center and we'll take second side. Left knee bends, line up left heel with right arch, turn your right toes in a little bit. Warrior two is your base. So inhale, arms go wide, Virabhadrasana 2, pull your belly back and slightly to the right. And then inhale, get tall through your spine. Exhale, reach forward towards your left toes. Drop the left forearm. Right hand to hip. Now, organize here. Begin to rotate from the low belly, left ribs under, right ribs back. Hook your right shoulder back. Stay here if this is enough, or sweep your right arm up and over your right ear. Push out and back through the right outer foot as you roll your chest open to the right. Maybe you look a little bit under your right arm. Take one more breath. Good. Release. Come out. Option for those of us who have a chair and like how that feels on a chair. It's kind of nice to feel supported. You're welcome to repeat. Final peak pose. Utthita Parsvakonasana on your chair, or if you want to try it without the chair, step wide. Arms wide as well. Turn your right toes to the right, your left toes in. Deep bend in the right knee. So warrior two is your base. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of your head. Exhale, reach forward. Drop your right forearm to your right thigh and your left hand to your hip. Roll right ribs under, left ribs back. Maybe you lift the left arm over your left ear. Rotate your belly from the right to the left. Always an option to do a block with the right hand as well. You can go inside the foot. I like to go outside, forces my right outer hip to press back more, to firm those right outer hip muscles. Wherever you are, take another deep breath, spin your chest to the left. And then a mindful exit. All 10 toes face the same way, and then spin for our final side. Left toes turn to the left, deep bend in the left knee. Right toes turn in a little bit, warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, reach to the left, find your left forearm on your thigh, and then right hand on your hip to start for sure. Find that rotation to begin with, left ribs under, right ribs back, right shoulder back. And then you have the option to add on. Top arm extends over the right ear. Maybe you come onto a block. Maybe you're still on your chair. Regardless, spin your belly from the left to the right. Maybe peek under your right arm. Take another big breath or two here. Extended side angle pose. When you feel complete, you can release. Turn all 10 toes to face the same way. Step, feet together. you'd like a downward facing dog to find something symmetrical, I'm going to take down dog on my chair. You're welcome to do the same if your chair is secure. I like to hold the front edge of my chair, drop my head, and push the hips back and up. Just for a moment, I like to drop a little through the belly and the shoulders, and then engage. Zip belly up. Slide the shoulder blades down on the back. Take 2, 3, 4 breaths in down dog. And then when you feel ready, you can lower to a child's pose. You can lower to a seat for a breath or two. And eventually we will come to our backs. So please lie back when you are ready. From your back here, just give yourself a moment to orient, to listen. And check in as we begin to receive and absorb the effects of our practice. And from our shape here, you can widen your knees and widen your feet. I like to go as wide as my mat. And if your shoulders can hang, maybe bring your arms overhead. And then we'll just take a few windshield wipers to lengthen out the tops of the thighs. So as you drop your right knee, or knees rather, to the right, you could gaze to the left. Coming to the outer blade of your right foot, the inner blade of your left foot. And then when you're ready, you can linger for a little bit. You'll switch. Knees go left, gaze goes right. Come to the inner blade of your right foot, the outer blade of your left foot. A couple more times. You can drop knees right, linger for a few breaths. And drop knees left. So just unwinding. And then when you feel complete with that work, you'll bring your feet to hip distant and your knees still bent, feet on the floor. From here, walk your heels back a little bit closer to your buns. When you're ready for our final symmetrical shape, you'll just gently press into the feet to lift the hips a little bit. So this is not the biggest bridge of my life. It's pretty small, actually. Just a little bit of lift for the fronts of the thighs, length for the tops of the legs. You can press into the feet a little more to lift a little higher. If you're going for full bridge, you could tuck your shoulders underneath you and interlace your hands. And then once you feel suffice there, you can release. Take a moment to let your feet go wide, knees knock in, and pause. And then the final shape is Shavasana. So if you have a chair, you're welcome to use it. Put your shins on the chair. You're welcome to take a belly down Shavasana. You could take a side lying Shavasana. So just encourage you to find a resting pose that will allow you to be comfortable. You're welcome to use your props to support your final rest. We've got just a few minutes here to drop in. Once you are into your Shavasana, relax your body, your muscles, your bones. Relax your eyes, relax your jaw. And as you rest here for just a few moments, allow yourself to really absorb the effects of your practice. And tapping into discernment in the breath, especially notice your breath post-practice. Notice your heart, and the pulsation, the sensations that this movement, these postures create. I'll guide you out in just a moment, but for now, just allow yourself to fully relax. And see if you could keep your awareness just loosely on your breath. And so from your Shavasana shape, further putting to work our discernment, our viveka, by taking a moment to note if the body, the mind, the breath needs a longer Shavasana. I would highly recommend a much longer Shavasana. So please feel free to pause me, turn me back on when you are ready to close practice. If you have other commitments and need to close practice at this time, please join me by deepening your breath and bringing a little movement to your body. Allow for your breath to get deeper and your movements to get bigger, and transition yourself to one side. Go slow. And then eventually you'll press yourself up to a seat. No rush. And find yourself in a comfortable position, seated. Lengthen your spine. Close your eyes. And take a moment to check in with your breath, with your thoughts, with your reactions to the practice, your awareness. And your physical structure, how do you feel, sense in the body? And when you feel ready, you can meet hands at heart center, take a small bow forward in gratitude for this practice. And so my hope for us is that the work on our mats, and in particular today's work of twisting, exploring the spiral sheath, allows us to practice discernment, viveka, with the first step of being able to practice on our mats the ability to listen, to notice, to be aware, so that we may practice that when we are off our mats. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. Nice work. Namaste.